I guarantee you Duolingo has done the analytics and it's shown that their consumer base skews younger than it does older, which is why antics like this are probably a little more okay than if they were like Ensure, if you're trying to sell protein to older adults, you can't get away with a mascot getting a BBL.
Hey everyone, welcome to the S.O.B Marketing Podcast, where we celebrate the S.O.B that you are, and if you haven't figured it out yet, we mean small-owned business. We don't mean S.O.B.
Listen, we know that as a small business owner, you are working hard on the daily to keep your business fully operational while trying to promote it. And while some days it may feel like the business is owning you, if we're being honest with each other, I bet you would admit that you wouldn't give up the insanity for anything.
Our commitment here at the S.O.B Marketing Podcast is to give you the real talk, what works when it comes to advertising, marketing, promoting your business, and then what doesn't really work.
And Chelsea and I promise to always keep the conversation real. All right, Chelsea, welcome back to another episode of the S.O.B Marketing Podcast. And y'all, we are not calling you names. This isn't that type of S.O.B. We're talking about small-owned business. All right, so just as a reminder for all you newbies here, we release a new podcast episode every Thursday, and we talk about all things marketing. Hopefully these episodes will help you guys feel way more confident in what you're doing as a small business owner with your marketing, or will perhaps give you some more ideas on how you could go about promoting your small business. So I'm here with my beautiful sister, Chelsea. Chelsea, what are we getting into today?
Vivian, today we are talking about meme culture, branding, viral videos, that sort of thing. Specifically, does doing all these memes and stuff like that, does it work? Does it help your business? Let me explain how we got to this topic, and I think that it will help elaborate and expand on the topic a little better. Duolingo.
Yeah,
I personally think they have lost their mind. If you haven't seen any of their like TikToks or Instagram, stuff like that, I implore you to go look. Go look at what Duolingo is doing. It is honestly, it is the craziest shit I have ever seen.
Girl, they are off the rocker. So if you guys don't know, for a point of reference, Duolingo is actually it's a company. It's an app that you can download on your phone that allows you or teaches you how to speak different languages. So if you're wanting to learn Spanish, you download Duolingo and it will help you learn Spanish, right?
Yep. So Duolingo, I understand how it happened. Let me explain. Duolingo sends you a lot of reminders. Oh, you have a streak. Don't lose your streak. Like, the point is to practice a little bit every single day, right? It was very intense. So people on the internet were talking about, oh, dang, Duolingo, its mascot is an owl. So people would make the joke, oh, if you lose your streak, then the Duolingo owl is going to come get you. And it snowballed. If you go on their Instagram, I mean, I think, Vivian, I sent you a video of their mascot, the owl, getting a BBL.
Yeah, which is... So there are a couple different interesting components to me. One of the things you just said that really kind of perked my ear. You said that there's a community of people who have signed up for Duolingo who apparently one of the things that they were referencing or talking about was the fact that it was so intense that these reminders were like, daily reminders, I'm guessing?
Yep, it's daily.
Okay. So they were daily reminders of this quote unquote owl telling you to go ahead and, log in and to practice whatever language you're trying to learn. So it's interesting because it's very cool that they actually were able to build a community. And in a sense, it became this kind of ongoing funny joke for them to, to be talking or referencing the owl. Then Duolingo saying, whoa, we have an opportunity here to do something fun.
I feel like they took it too far, but that's my personal opinion. I mean, it works for some people. I will say their social media gets a lot of traction.
Well, so let me ask you this. You and I, so y'all, Chelsea and I had a day where we did some strategic planning about what we wanted to do for the season marketer. And I kid you not, at the end of it, when we were kind of like logging off, Chelsea just happened to show me this Duolingo Instagram page. And I think we sat there for 20 minutes just laughing, like rolling. It was so funny. But so you showed me the Instagram page. Do they also mirror the same thing on TikTok or on what other platforms? Do you know?
I believe also on TikTok. I don't really use any other platform besides Instagram. So I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like I have definitely noticed their entire branding has really shifted. I mean, it's always been kind of this crazy, but it has gotten way more intense in terms of what they're pumping out.
I'm always curious about who is bankrolling, who is allowing and paying for this, because the one you sent me that you were just referring to was the BBL. Okay. So y'all, they have this big owl mascot. He looks like a mascot. Okay. You could tell it's a person dressed in this little thing. And he is literally sitting with whatever surgeon they paid to give up his 30 minutes out of his day to do this. So that was probably very expensive, okay, unless they knew somebody. But so then this guy is sitting there just talking about with this mascot owl, pretending to give this mascot owl a Brazilian butt lift. If you guys do not know, that's a BBL, Brazilian butt lift, okay? So what that has to do with learning a language, I do not know. Like what's the, so basically it's just like, hey, let's get some viral, video up, get eyeballs on it, and then hope that a portion of those eyeballs translates. Right? Is that it?
Exactly. And that's really what I want us to talk about today is, does that actually work? Does going viral actually help your business? Does creating all of this really funny content that, I mean, yes, people are watching these. Every time I see, when I send it to you, all of my friends, every time they see a Duolingo post, they'll send it to me. Now, when they send it to me, it's usually, I need you to go fight the marketing team because what is this?
So nobody has approved of this yet. Anybody you have shown has not been. Well, here's the thing. I'm a fan of it because it's hilarious. Like, I think it's dumb and it's very entertaining. I just don't know how effective that is for a business. Right?
Exactly. And that is the thing that I want us to talk about. I think it can be an issue sometimes, and we've discussed this before, that we sometimes translate views to sales. Y'all, marketing is all about making money. Your marketing goal is to make money, bring in new clients and customers, and to be able to sell to them. So cool, you got a viral video of your mascot getting a butt lift, but did any of those people who saw it actually start using the app?
So it's very much, I don't see that big of a difference. I think because I've been doing marketing for a long time and I'm used to doing some of the traditional advertising routes, right? So a billboard, let's say, to me, it's no different than you randomly picking a billboard in your city, okay, without any thought as to where the billboard goes, what the driving patterns are. Like, let's say you're not even thinking about that. You take your hand, you put it on a map, and you're like, that's where I want my billboard to go.
Yeah.
Are you going to get eyeballs? Yes. Are those eyeballs going to translate to sales? Possibly. Now, the game you're playing, just like you are doing on social media platform, is the more I am able to narrow down that audience to get those eyeballs to be the people I want, to sell to, then the higher percentage that conversion rate, right? So if I were using billboards and I actually gave thought, let's say I wanted to be in front of military families, Great. There's a beautiful billboard that is right off of the Air Force Base, right when you come out of the gates. That would be the billboard I would get if I was looking to try to convert military families into buying my services. Find a way to effectively do that on social media. So I guess maybe I have the old lady brain where I still think in terms of traditional advertising sometimes. And I'm like, I get it. It's a digital platform, but it's not really any different. You're just doing this.
It's not. Yeah, it's not any different. And can I also just say, this can go so badly.
Yeah.
Like Duolingo has done it right and people are enjoying it, and that's great. But sometimes it can go so poorly if you do it wrong. I wrote in our notes, and I don't know if you know what this means, but I put, don't give people the ick. Do you know what the ick is?
Well, only because I've been hanging out with you and I know that it's not a good thing, but the ick is like, it's a turnoff, right?
The ick is a turnoff. It's something that you're like, oh, they just did this, and now I'm like, that was cringe. Well, now I'm using another slang word. Do you know what cringe is?
It's the ick.
Yeah.
Synonyms, cringe, ick, synonyms.
It's just basically you're doing something, it feels inauthentic. I think from a business standpoint is the best way to explain it. Is it feels inauthentic. It feels like you are pandering to people, and the younger generation does not like that.
It kind of reminds me, did you ever watch Mean Girls?
I did.
Okay, you know the mom that's always trying to be cool?
Yes.
Regina George's mom. How she's like, what'd she say? I'm not a
regular mom.
I'm not a regular mom. I'm a cool mom. Yeah, but it's that. I think that's how people come across when they're not being genuine to themselves. So Duolingo, I think, has this thing where it's accepted because it's almost that the audience almost spurred it. You see what I'm saying? They're following their community, almost made it get to this point where it's just like, at this point, it's bonkers. But if you're trying to do it, if you're an orthodontist and you're trying to do this, I don't know how that's going to work out for you, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you could get a mascot having like braces. I don't know, like,
or a tooth. You could get a tooth as a mascot.
Tooth,
I think someone already does that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. My other point that I wanted to make real quick, going back to how you had said you're kind of just picking a random billboard. With Duolingo being the example, you could say, quotation marks, you could say that Duolingo's audience is everyone. Okay? Not really. If you do the research, which I'm sure they have done, I am sure they know who their target audience is, but it's very specific. Even if you feel like, oh, well, everyone buys toothpaste. I sell toothpaste. Everyone buys toothpaste. I sell lotion. Everyone buys lotion. That's not true, because who you are as a brand and as a business is going to change who your target audience is. So no, even if you think that you're a brand for everyone and it doesn't matter because all eyes are a potential customer, not really.
I mean, not really. Even, I used to always say toilet paper is the only one that can be a brand for everyone, but that's not even true because babies don't use toilet paper. So, you know, even toilet paper has like certain demographics, right? Weird part is, I would love to see, to your point, because there are analytics that obviously they are using to spur some of this. I guarantee you, and I have not seen this, and maybe we could find the data somewhere, Chelsea. Guarantee you, Duolingo has done the analytics, and it's shown that their consumer base skews younger than it does older, which is why antics like this are probably a little more okay than if they were like, ensure if you're trying to sell protein to older adults, you can't get away with a mascot getting a BBL or whatever else. Like, it's going to be a big turnoff to that particular demographic, right? Now, could you get some type of mascot that's a crusader against, what do you call it? Against not retirement, but against, I don't know, whatever older people are having issues with, right? It's got to be relative.
Yeah, I get it. I get your point. Even let's say that you do it well, you do it right, and the meme works or the viral video works. Do you have a call to action with that?
Right.
Like, are you showing off your products or services in any way? Do you have lead magnets that are related to the content that you're creating that lead people into your funnel? It's great to have a viral video and it's great to have eyeballs. Are you telling those eyeballs to do anything? You always need to have a call to action.
I wonder, while you were talking, I had this other thought. I'd be curious to
I'm
know.
glad you have those. Thank you.
Yeah, I have those every once in a while. Not always, every once in a while. I wonder if they are pulling money from other mediums, right? Like, let's say television advertising. If they're pulling money from television advertising and instead supplementing with these viral videos, and their thought process being, if we skew younger and the younger generation is on these social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram, we're reaching them way more effectively than we would be on television advertising. So I just wonder if they're saving money from from eliminating some other type of advertising. And that's why they're able to really go full blown into this viral video stuff, right? If they're saying, hey, it's fine because we're not spending as much on this end, and instead we're just going to dump it over here because more of the people we want to target are on this platform.
Absolutely. And I think I have an example of this going wrong too. Is it mug root beer? Or is it mugs?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's mugs.
Mug.
Okay.
Root beer. They have been posting videos. I don't know if they're still doing it. I remember this happening probably like a couple of weeks ago. They were posting videos of cooking, but cooking using root beer. So they were like, oh, I'm going to boil a hot dog, but they're boiling the hot dog in root beer. Oh,
I can't remember if you're the one that showed me that, or if it just or if it just popped up on my feed. But I was like, what?
Yeah, I think that's an example of doing that wrong, because all the comments were like, what is happening right now? Like, why are you doing this? And it was still a trend at the time. Like, people were doing wacky videos of them cooking with weird stuff that they shouldn't be cooking with. But I feel like it was so random and it didn't make sense in their branding that people were like, what is going on right now?
I think the key lesson here is, and Chelsea, you say this all the time, is tracking the data to be sure that stuff is working effectively.
Yeah.
Do not, and this is just good standard practice across the board for any marketing initiatives you do. Even if you think that these viral videos are costing you nothing, that is not true. It's costing you time. So it's taking away from something else that you could be doing. So you creating a viral video from inception to editing to posting, it all takes time. Even if you have a team, then you're taking your team's time. You need to just be aware of how much time and investment, monetary investment you're putting into it. And then if you're getting enough out of it, right? So know your numbers. If you say, hey, I think that it probably cost me $200. I'm just throwing a number out there, $200 for me to put together a viral video, right? All of the time I spend doing it, all of the editing, all of that. When I post it, if I get one sale, then it covers it. It's worth it, right? Yeah. Or if I get 10 sales, just know the math.
Yeah, exactly. And a really good point, you just mentioned time. Yes, time is money, but also time is really important when it comes to these trends.
Yes.
If it takes you a long time to make the video, but it's quite possible that by the time you post it, it's not a trend anymore.
Unless you're truly doing like Duolingo, I feel like they're not following any trend. They're just creating outrageous shit and like posting it, right?
Some of their stuff is trends, and then some of their stuff isn't.
Okay, what was the one you were showing me about Duolingo taking somebody on a date?
Yes.
Do you remember that? And so I guess maybe I'm just a little out of touch where I didn't realize that was a trend that was going on, whether it was on TikTok.
That's not a trend. Or is that a trend?
Well, it was. I think there was videos that were trending like that where it was like, I'm going to take so-and-so on a date.
Oh, okay.
And then you show them from like start to finish what the date looks like.
See, I didn't know that was a trend. I was thinking specifically of I was thinking specifically of the video where he's having a birthday party for the owl and they made a cake that the butt jiggles. So when you shake the cake, the butt jiggles, and then see, this is what I mean. This stuff is crazy. The comment was, "Oh, when your coworkers are eating your."
It is so gross.
I'm not gonna say it, but everyone knows what I'm talking about when I said that sentence. But yeah, that was a trend.
Yeah. Well, so what's interesting about that trend in particular is, I sometimes stumble across these cake videos. And one of the things which you mentioned is there was a trend where what they're doing is they're building off of these pre-made cakes. And one of those was teaching people how to actually make a 3D effect on the cake, right? So it was like you're building it to where you would have like some type of a 3D looking thing on the cake. And that's what Chelsea's referring to. They made the butt, the 3D part of it, the jiggly butt on the owl. So it's, they do. Yeah. So maybe they are doing portions of trends, but they're figuring out ways to kind of bake them, pun intended, into other.
And that's a really good example of creating content that has the potential to be evergreen. And that's the point that I want to make right now is you can follow trends, create trending videos, use memes and stuff like that. Remember though that the lifespan of these are not going to be very long. Even if you do, like, my point is it shouldn't just be that, right? Like you definitely need evergreen content on your social media.
So you want to incorporate them. If you're going to do viral videos, go ahead and incorporate them, but don't make them the only type of videos that you share as a small business, because that's just, for me, you're putting all your eggs in one basket, and that's just never a good thing to do.
Also make sure that it actually is relevant to your business and that it makes sense. So my example, when I worked at the allergy place, there was a person.
I feel like we need to make a shirt that says "When I worked at the allergy place," because you say that quite a bit.
I have quite the memories. I'm keeping this very broad too, very vague. So there was a person there that loved to post memes onto the business page, and they would always say, look, this gets a lot of engagement, a lot of views. This is the kind of stuff you need to be posting. Okay, but how did that help the business? Did anyone even notice that the meme came from our page? Like, be honest, if you're scrolling through social media and you see a meme, you're going to laugh, you're going to like it, and then you're going to keep going. You don't even notice who posted it.
No, you're right. And that's a very interesting dynamic with the person that's scrolling. And you and I share stuff throughout the day, reels, memes, all this stuff. Very rarely I'll click on it and I'll look at it. Very rarely do I actually go and like that page. Very rarely do I ever click on the profile to see what that page is even about. Like, I just don't do that.
Exactly. So
it's almost like it needs to have something at the top that says "for entertainment purposes only." Right?
I know, right? Exactly. And then also, like, the memes would never make any sense to do with like allergies or a business or anything like that. It was just so random. And I was like, cool vanity metrics. That's great. This is not helpful though.
I think then too, it also, for the people that are following you for the reason that they want to follow your business and to get relevant information or news or just stay up to date, it just kind of looks weird when you start getting a bunch of posts that are just memes and they have nothing to do with anything you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. You know what this just made me think of?
What?
Have you ever seen that video of the woman with her baby in the background? Like, she's in a hospital room. baby's in the background, and she's like doing a TikTok dance.
Yes.
But the caption, like the words on the screen are like, oh, they just told me that baby whatever is really sick. They have RSV or whatever a baby disease is. But she's like doing a dance.
First of all, the fact that you said whatever a baby disease is.
I don't know.
Whatever them babies get.
Hand, foot, mouth. That's one, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Jaundice. Jaundice is another one, but I don't think that's a disease. Yeah, that's when they turn yellow. Yeah,
okay.
But it's not a disease. It's like something else. But so I've seen that actually, and she actually caught a lot of slack for that because it was like the dancing didn't mesh with the verbiage of her baby being sick, and people are like, you should probably be a little more concerned than sitting there doing some viral dance.
Exactly. And so I think that's a really good example of how you can do it so wrong and how you can look very out of touch. Yeah. So don't do something like that.
Do you love making crafts and working on your small business but struggle to get them in front of customers?
Do craft fairs, events, or pop-ups leave you feeling overwhelmed or frustrated?
Introducing Rock Your Fair, the course designed to help you succeed in the world of craft fairs, pop-ups, and events, created by 2 marketing professionals with over 15 years of experience. Rock Your Fair is perfect for anyone who's new to the game or just wants to step up their game.
Our step-by-step approach will guide you through everything you need to know, from choosing the right events, to setting up your booth, to marketing your products effectively.
And you know what? You'll also get access to us for personalized coaching and feedback so you can put your best foot forward.
Do not let craft fairs, pop-ups, and events hold you back. Sign up for Rock Your Fair today and start rocking your way to success.
For a limited time, get access to our free mini course. Simply head over to our website at www.theseasonmarketer.com and click on workshops.
I know it sounds right now like we're saying stop doing memes. We're not saying that. And you can do it right. I mean, Duolingo has got it down. I might not enjoy it, but I'm probably not their target audience, so it's okay.
I will say it did actually give me a little bit of, I know what Duolingo is. Like and you know, there's a part of me, it's like, oh, I should try and pick my French back up, right? I could brush up on it and actually try and learn this time. But so then when you showed me those memes or those reels, all that, the viral videos, there was a small part of me that was like, oh, maybe I should download the app. So I'm their target audience. Yeah. I'm the one that they're like, oh, she kind of feels like she needs to learn another language, but she hasn't just jumped in yet. These will entice her.
Yeah. You know, they also have Elvish on there.
They have what?
Elvish, like elves. Duolingo does not, in fact, have Elvish. They have Klingon and High Valerian. Just wanted to put that out there.
It's a language, so thank you.
You didn't know that? Okay, no. Well.
You always keep me up to date on the nerd updates. Updates.
I feel like that's not an update. That's been a thing, but okay.
It's been around since the late 1800s, Vivian.
I wouldn't say that far, but like, when did Lord of the Rings come out? Come on.
This is the dumbest thing I've heard. I mean, in case I encounter an elf out here, I probably should brush up on my Elfish.
Okay. Well, I have... Give me a sec. Okay. I have another example of doing memes and viral trends and stuff like that well. Okay. And I feel like this one is actually like, well, Duolingo is a good example, but this one, I love them.
It's relatable. That's what it is.
Yes, it's relatable. -25, one of my favorite bands. Their social media is just full of trends and memes and stuff like that. But it is trends and memes and content that relate to their target audience very specifically. Not only that, but they end all of their videos with a call to action to go listen to their band. So they're like, if you found this video funny, you'll love our band, -25.
Well, I think what it does is they are using it as an extension of their band personality, which is brilliant, because I started following them because you sent me an example and I was like, oh, that's actually really smart from a marketing perspective to do that.
Yeah.
But what I love is, for example, that trend that was going on where it was like, you know, you say whatever you are, right? So like, I'm a small business owner. Of course and then you say silly things that you do, right? That only small business owners are going to relate to.
Yes.
Well, they did that, but for their band, right? And I think one of the things that they're always talking about is how they're what, ADHD or anxiety prone, and they have what do you call it? They have existential crisis all the time. And so basically it was like, hey, of course we're, whatever, we're going to have an existential crisis every other day or whatever. And so I think what they're really smart about are the trends that they decide to do. So they only do trends where they can insert their brand personality by saying, because almost every single one of the videos I watched, it's been, hey, this is me, this is us. If this is you, they literally say, if this is you, you will like our band.
Exactly.
If you've related to some of what we said in this video, you're going to like us. We're for you. So yeah, I think it's brilliant.
It's brilliant, and that's a perfect example of doing it right. Like, we are for it if you do it right, if it makes sense for your brand, if you're being very particular, if you have a call to action. They're just doing virality. Is that a word?
I don't think virality is a word. I think viral videos.
The point is they're doing it right, and you can absolutely do it right. Authenticity is going to be very important.
I just want to read you some of the comments because I do think they are a really great example of this. Okay. So one of the reels, they're talking about, if your playlist sounds like this, right, you probably have ADHD. Coffee barely does it for you anymore, so you're on 3 monsters a day. You're most likely bi, and you consume excessive amounts of media to keep the voices entertained. If so, you're going to love this song, right? And so they have it meshed up against one of their songs. And so if you're looking through the comments, you see stuff like, you need to stop hurting my feelings every time I open this app, man. I am nice to you. Let's see. Never been called out so much. Love your music though, right? So I think people are, I'm feeling a little called out. I wasn't planning on being called out like that today. And for those of you who don't know, if you're older like me, being called out is a good thing, right? Because it means, hey, you've identified me. Like, you're saying something about me that's so true that I almost feel like, whoa, right? I'm almost offended that you know me so well. So I think they do a really great job of just saying like, hey, if this is you, then that's it. And so,
and it works. That is how I started listening to them.
Really?
Because I saw one of their videos and I was like, this is hilarious. If this is what their music is like, I got to listen to it. And I love them. They're a great band.
And the key is that it feels natural. It feels like if you were to roll up on those guys, and like meet them in person, they would be exactly as they present on social media. Like there's nothing fake about it. It's just them.
Exactly. So I think really the key to doing this right, memes, videos, trends, stuff like that, is to make sure that you are being authentic about your brand, about your business. And, if it feels forced, you probably shouldn't do it then. Like, if you're like, this is going to feel kind of weird. Like, if you feel weird about recording something, well, not if you feel weird, because we all feel weird, right, when we record stuff. But if you feel like, this is maybe not the best representation of my business, and it's not clear how this relates to my business, then maybe you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, and I do think that it takes a little bit of practice and nuances to kind of get really good at this. Because for us, like, even with our Under the Season marketer, we don't do any of these viral or meme stuff, frankly, because unless it's something that I know for a fact we can navigate, it's just going to take too much time, right? So I think that's the thing where...
Well, that's the biggest thing for us, I think, is we pump out a lot of content. I am already working on so much content. Let's be honest, by the time we actually shoot this video and get it out there, the trend's going to be over.
Yeah. And so the other day, even yesterday, I wanted to post something with a trending audio, and I'm just like, I don't have time right now to clip all that stuff together. So I'll just have to do it sometime this week. And I'm like, fingers crossed that the audio is still trending, which I still may do, even if it's not, just because I like the audio anyways. But I think that's the thing, is like, with the trending stuff, like you said earlier, timing is just so important that you almost just have to have, and best practices, y'all, be shooting B-roll whenever you can, right? Because Instagram does love B-roll and stuff, TikTok, not so much. But if you have this stuff stored in your phone or on your laptop where it's easy for you to grab and create something when a trend does come up, what I like to see is a lot of the small business owners that will do this thing where they have a like B-roll, and then they put like a text overlay on it, and then they write. And so the background video really isn't as important. It could be of the ocean, it could be of anything else, but it's really more so the verbiage that they have on there that's attracting, the person. One of the ones I saw yesterday that I really liked was a girl who was at a farmer's market, and she was picking, like, it just showed her, no audio or nothing. It just showed her picking like vegetables from the farmer's market. And then she had text overlay that said, point of view when you finally meet, or when you finally come across my page, and I'm talking about all things organic, all things homemade, all things this and that. And she had a ton of engagement with it and then at the bottom, she had the call to action. Where she's like, click down below and follow if you're into that stuff. So I think those tend to do well for small businesses too. Sometimes just depending on, the trending audio and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope that was clear, that we're saying you can totally do it. Just not necessarily be careful, but be authentic about what you're doing.
And don't make it your soul. Yeah, don't give people the ick or what was the other synonym?
Don't be cringe.
Don't be cringe. Don't be cringe. Don't give people the ick. What else we want to tell them not to do, Chelsea?
Don't make it your only thing that you do.
That's right. So I do think it may help if you interject them intermittently into what you're doing. It probably would help with just kind of boosting some eyeballs. But remember, those analytics on the back end, and we had this happen for one of our clients where the first reel we posted, it went viral. It got good engagement. Did it translate into sales? I think maybe some, like it had a few, but not. All right. So we hope this conversation has been useful. If anything, just to give you 2 Instagram accounts that you could go look at that will maybe give you an idea of, for one, the Audacious, which is Duolingo. So we don't recommend that you do something like that because it's just a little audacious. But we do think it's great if you're looking for humor, and also if, to our point, you just get some ideas on how you could potentially take portions of these viral videos or memes and utilize them, bake them into something bigger, right? A different type of video. And then the other one is Negative 25, which is a band. And we love what they're doing with, just incorporating their brand or their band and band personality into all that. It's a great example of it. But we want to remind you guys to, if you haven't already, subscribe to this podcast, S.O.B Marketing Podcast. You can find us on all the things, Spotify, Apple Music, all those places, anywhere you can stream podcast. And then lastly, don't forget to go over to our website at theseasonedmarketer.com, because we have free downloads and resources for you guys. And if you don't already know, we also send out weekly marketing tips, news, information, all that good stuff. So if you're not on our email list, you'll definitely want to join. But other than that, Chelsea, did I miss anything? Did I get everything?
No, I think that's it. So go out there, if you want to shoot a viral video, go for it. Just make sure you have fun and you're authentic and just be the best SOB you can be.